Hello friends, today we are going to start the unit 2 of automobile engineering subject. The unit name is steering system and suspension system. It divided into two parts, steering system and suspension system. In a first part we will learn the all point related to the steering system and later we will start the suspension system part. So main function of the steering system is to convert the rotary motion of the steering wheel into angular displacement of the wheels. This steering system parts, its syllabus includes the types of steering system, need of steering system, steering linkage used in steering system, then steering geometries, wheel alignment and wheel balancing. Power steering is also included in this topic. Apart from this, we will also learn the topics related to the steering system. These topics are oversteer, understeer vehicle, turning radius, rolling radius, steering ratio, reversibility of the steering, types of steering system and types of steering gears used in these systems. So first topic of today's class is principle of the steering and center point steering. In this point, principle of steering system, we will see here why the need of the steering system. The first point is the motion as per the action of driver. It means as per the will of the driver, steering is take the rotation left side or right side. Second point is the rotary to the angular displacement. Means small rotation of steering wheel is converted into angular displacement of the stub axle where the wheels and tire assembly is mounted. It takes the turn. Third point, need of steering system is the multiply effort. So small effort can take as an input to operate the steering mechanism. The steering gear generally used to multiply the effort of the steering system. Next point is the need of steering system is the absorb the road shocks. Steering system is designed such that it prevent the coming forces due to the road shocks or due to the bumps or pit holes. So this steering system should sustain or absorb these coming forces. Next is the control the wear and tear of tire. This point related to the tire life. So all tire must be in a straight plane, so they are uniformly rubbed and there should be no wear of the tire to any side, particular side or corner. Next point is the direction stability. When vehicle is in the motion, it should be maintain proper directions and it should be stable as per the angle of the steering wheel. And the last point of this need of steering system is the self-righting effect. This point shows so steering system is designed even if there is no effort given on the steering wheel, it should go straight ahead when when vehicle is in the motion. It's called the self-righting effect. In this topic, correct steering, or we can say a perfect steering. In that topic, we are going to learn about the two types of mechanism used in steering system. But the first type is the Davis mechanism and second one is the Ackermann's mechanism. Ackermann's mechanism is universally accepted and popular in the vehicle design. And this mechanism has the simple in operation, and for the maintenance purposes also it is easy. That's why it is universally accepted. Friend, you have to draw this diagram and write down this equation also. I will explain one by one how this correct steering or perfect steering works. Here you can see the front side of the vehicle. These are the two front tires. This is the front inner tire and this is the front outer tire. This is the rear side of the vehicle. This is the D indicates here the rear inner tire and C indicate rear outer tire. So see here friends, the first point is the A. The A indicate the CD distance, C to D distance, or you can say wheel track. Here it is shown the rear wheel track, exact center line taken from the midpoint of the tire. It shows the wheel tracks. B, this B indicate the AB distance from point A to B. This B indicate this is the distance between the point of the front axle. After that, linkage of the both the wheels are attached over this here and here. So this is the exact, this one is the B distance. Third one is the L. Here you can see L. L that we already studied in our first topic, introduction, is the wheelbase. The distance taken from the front axle to the rear axle is called the wheelbase. It is denoted here L. And I indicate common instantaneous center for all four wheels. Here I. So when while rotating or turning the vehicle, all wheels are rotate with a different radius. This wheel rotate at different, and rear wheel also rotate at a different radius. But while rotating, all these wheel should rotate about the common center point. That point is called the instantaneous center point. How this point we can get? In this figure you can see the rear axle. From the rear axle, one imaginary line drawn to the vehicle where the vehicle is taking the turn. In this case, vehicle is turning to the right side. Okay, this imaginary line drawn. Same line is drawn from the link of the front outer tire. Okay, exactly perpendicular, and same line drawn imaginary from the link of the front inner tire. So when they meet at a common point, that point is called the instantaneous center. And this line make the angle, the front inner wheel make the angle theta here, this angle theta, and the outer rear will make the angle phi. The value of theta is more than the phi angle. For the design purpose, this maximum value of theta can be taken as a 45 degree, and same for the phi can be taken, maximum value can be taken up to the 30 degree, 30. So see here friend, so B, this distance B is the distance taken by this AP minus BP, from the point AP minus this BP. So when you put the AP you can write as a cot phi is AP by L. Cot phi is the AP by this distance wheel track L. Later is substituted L cot phi, this L cot phi, and minus this BP is L cot theta. This is the theta. Okay, L cot theta. L is the wheelbase. Same common L is taken outside, and in the bracket the L into in the bracket cot phi minus cot theta, and this equation goes here when L is opposite side. B by L is equal to cot phi minus cot theta. This B by L is equal to cot phi minus cot theta. If this equation satisfied, then there is a no lateral slip while taking the turn. So you can say this is the equation for the correct steering or perfect steering. Friend, from this figure you have understood all the wheels are rotating at different radii. So to roll on the different radii, for that purpose the equation is given. IFW is indicate inner front wheel radii, and it is calculated L by sin theta minus in the bracket A minus B. A is the wheel track minus this B divided by 2. Same for the inner rear wheel is taken as the L divided by tan theta minus in the bracket A minus B divided by 2. Same for the outer front wheel is taken as the L by sin theta plus in the bracket A minus B divided by 2. Same for the last wheel outer rear wheel, means for this wheel L divided by tan phi plus A minus B divided by 2. These are the perfect rolling equation for each wheel. Perfect rolling equation for each wheel. Once it's all the equation is satisfied, then you can say it is the correct steering or Ackermann's mechanism steering. In this point we are going to learn types of steering and center point steering. Two types of steering are not mentioned here. It is called the first one is the manual steering and second one is the power steering. Manual steering is operated manually, and power steering is assisted by the hydraulic power, or it is controlled by electrically or electronically. This point about the power steering we will learn in a different topics in a detail. So friend, here you can see the first one is the adjustable steering. In this figure you can see two arrows showing. One is over the steering, one is going parallel to the steering upward side, and another is toward the driver side. In both the way this steering is adjusted. There is a one knob of the bottom side of the steering wheel to adjust the length and angle of the steering wheel. So driver can adjust steering angle and distance of steering wheel according to the desired position. This option is given by considering ergonomics of different person. Same like the seat arrangement, we can arrange the seat seat height as well as the seat position by operating the seat lever. Same like for the adjustable steering. Second one is the collapsible steering here. So this design is provided for the safety purpose. It is look like the shock absorber. You can see here the length of this steering, it compresses and extends. Here you can see it is compressed in third figure, and in the second figure it is extended. It's called the collapsible, like operating like the shock absorber to absorb the shocks. So it is energy absorbing steering, provided safety to the driver and protect the driver from harm in case of the accident. In case of impact or crash, it compresses and avoid the harm to the driver. Inside of this tube or inside this casing, the ring and ball bearing adjustment is provided between the steering column and external housing, so it can easily accommodate this change within a fraction of second. So the next point is the center point steering or offset steering. To understand the center point steering, first you can see here in this figure, you have to draw this figure offset steering. Here the figure show this figure shows the front side of the wheel. Same here in the offset steering, it shows the front side of the wheel, and same bottom side shows in the center point steering. Here the top side of the center point steering, and here also the offset top side of the offset steering. Here you can see the exact center line axis is coming to the ground. This is the ground level, and kingpin axis is also coming to the ground level in the both the cases. But here in the center point steering, center axis is coming here and it is intersect to the inclination of the kingpin axis, and it is intersecting at the exact location where the tire touches the ground level. Tire touch the ground level. You can see here, this is the exact position. So it is an arrangement of the steering axis cuts the wheel center plane at the same point at the same time on the road on the road wheels makes a contact with the ground. This is called the center point steering. And if there is a gap between these two axes and they does not cut exact at the meeting point of the ground level, then it's called the offset steering. Both the steering are used in the automobile vehicle, but most preferred is the center point steering. And same this point we are going to learn in a detail while learning the scrub radius. We are going to learn the topic rolling radius and turning radius. So in each class or in my each presentation, I have added some points apart from the syllabus, but these points are related to our topics. So commonly as a mechanical engineer or automobile engineer, you should know the basics point related to automobile. That's why I have kept this point in my lecture. The first one is the rolling radius. The rolling radius of a wheel measure from center to the thread where this tire made the contact with the road. This is called the rolling radius, and the common radius of the tire you can see here. Common radius you can see here, and the rolling radius is taken from the center to the road. This is called the rolling radius, and there are two types of rolling radius: static rolling radius and dynamic rolling radius. When vehicle at the rest, that time this rolling radius is different, but when vehicle is in the motion, or we can say the when it is traveling from one point to another point, it changes its rolling radius, and that rolling radius is called the dynamic rolling radius. It creates another circle here inside the tire over which the tire rolls. That is called the rolling radius when vehicle is in the motion. And next point is the turning radius. Turning radius is the smallest circular turn, or you can say the U-turn, that the vehicle is capable of making while taking or while moving backside like this. So smallest circle when it capable of making is called the turning radius or U-turn. It is generally measured in meter. For example, for the passenger car, it is 10.4 meter to 10.7 meter, generally specified on the specification sheet or brochure of the vehicle. So this turning radius, mentioning of the turning radius are two types: curb to curb and wall to wall. In curve to curves, outer rear side of the tire, you can see here the outer rear side of the tire, it is following this path. Okay, outer rear side of the tire making minimum radius at one side fully locked steering. Making minimum radius one side at fully locked means steering is locked completely the in left side or right side when, and the reference is taken from the rear outer side tire. In case of the wall to wall turning radius, it's it's calculated without distortion with the wall by the outer extreme edge. You can see here in this figure the body part or edge, extreme edge of the vehicle body making smallest radius with the one side fully locked position of the steering wheel. That this is called the wall to wall turning radius. I think you have understood all these points. If you have any doubt, you can contact me.